Elon Musk took his son X to a press conference. I did not name it.
All the sort of federal money going to media companies is what helps
Turn on the television, girl.
Where are you going?
Where are you going?
I'm leaving y'all.
explain why the legacy media all says the same thing at the same time.
Has allowed all kinds of people to come on. People we agree with, people we don't agree with.
What helps explain why the legacy media all says the same thing at the same time.
Not been a fan of this man's. I don't like how he talks to us. I don't like how he talks to the nation.
The moment was electrifying. It wasn't the usual drama in the world of celebrity feuds. This one felt different, as if the stakes were far higher than a typical Hollywood spat. And it all started when Whoopi Goldberg, a name almost synonymous with The View, made what many considered a distasteful comment. It was an offhand remark, one that initially went unnoticed by most, but quickly spiraled into a social media storm that no one could have predicted. Whoopi, known for her bold and sometimes controversial statements on daytime television, made a comment that targeted Elon Musk's son. And not just any comment, but one that seemed to mock the child on national television. The incident blew up in the most dramatic way, sparking outrage across the internet. What followed was a rapid escalation of events that would take the conflict into uncharted territory: courtrooms, lawsuits, and massive public fallout. Elon Musk is no stranger to controversy. Known for his ambitious ventures with SpaceX, Tesla, and his unapologetic approach to everything from social media to business, Musk has always been a figure who stands firm in his convictions. But this time it was different. This wasn't just some corporate dispute or a clash of titans in the tech world. This was personal, and Musk didn't take kindly to anyone, especially someone like Whoopi Goldberg targeting his family. His son, X, became the center of an explosive debate, and Musk wasn't about to sit back and let it slide. Almost immediately, Elon took to Twitter, where his reach is nothing short of legendary. His tweet criticizing Whoopi for mocking his son went viral within hours. It wasn't just a simple complaint, it was an all-out attack on Whoopi and the platform that allowed it. Musk didn't mince words, calling out The View as a toxic echo chamber and accusing them of degrading a child for entertainment purposes. His words spread like wildfire across social media, racking up millions of likes and shares. The backlash was swift and overwhelming. But Musk didn't stop there. His next move was just as bold. He called out ABC directly. He questioned how a network could allow a host like Whoopi Goldberg to publicly shame a child, especially given her stature and influence. Musk was
All the sort of federal money going to media companies is what helps explain.
He took little X.
Funny. And little
why the legacy media all says the same thing at the same time.
He wasn't simply tweeting in frustration. He was laying the groundwork for something much bigger: legal action. At first, many thought Musk was just using his platform to voice his displeasure. Known for his dramatic and sometimes unfiltered opinions, Musk had been known to make bold statements without necessarily following through. But in this case, he was serious. He wasn't going to let this slide, not without consequences. Within days, reports surfaced that Musk's legal team had initiated formal proceedings against Whoopi Goldberg and The View. This wasn't just some random outburst. It was a carefully calculated move to hold Goldberg accountable for her actions. Legal experts were stunned. It's one thing for celebrities to engage in public feuds, but it's another entirely for one to take legal action over a joke made on a daytime talk show. Lawsuits of this magnitude were unprecedented, and the fact that it involved a child made the case even more high-profile. Musk's legal team cited defamation, harassment, and the deliberate targeting of a child for public humiliation as the basis for the lawsuit. Their stance was clear: Whoopi's comments were malicious, and they were not going to let her get away with them. For the first time in a long time, Whoopi Goldberg found herself on the defensive. Known for her sharp wit and dominant presence on The View, Goldberg had built her career on her ability to stand her ground, regardless of the controversy that followed. But this time it was different. She was no longer facing a simple disagreement over politics or ideology. This was a legal battle, one that could have far-reaching consequences for her career and the future of The View. As the weeks went by, the legal proceedings began to heat up. ABC, the network that had been the home of The View for years, now found itself in a precarious situation. The show, once a staple of daytime television, was now at the center of a massive public relations crisis. Sponsors began...
Elon Musk took his son X to a press conference. I did not name the... I've been saying that I think Elon Musk believes he's president. I do.
Well, you've been calling him
and pulling out, unwilling to associate themselves with the show while the lawsuit was ongoing. Viewership ratings, which had already been declining in recent years, began to plummet as well. The View was suddenly a show that no one wanted to touch. Behind the scenes, ABC executives were scrambling. They had a massive problem on their hands. On one side, they had one of their biggest stars, Whoopi Goldberg, who had been with the network for decades. On the other, they had a legal battle with one of the most influential figures in the world. It was clear that something had to give, but no one was sure what that would be. As the courtroom drama unfolded, the tension became palpable. Whoopi walked into the courtroom visibly tense, knowing that this was the most significant legal challenge of her career. There was no denying the gravity of the situation. The eyes of the public were on her, and the outcome of this trial could change everything. The atmosphere in the courtroom was thick with anticipation as the judge prepared to read the verdict. And then, in a moment that no one could have predicted, it happened. As the judge read the verdict, Whoopi Goldberg suddenly collapsed. The courtroom was thrown into chaos as staff rushed to her aid. Paramedics were called in immediately, and for a brief moment, the entire legal process seemed to come to a standstill. What had just happened? Why had Goldberg collapsed at such a critical moment? Details surrounding the verdict remained unclear, but sources close to the case suggested that the ruling was far more severe than anyone had anticipated. Some reports speculated that Whoopi could face a substantial financial penalty, while others hinted at the possibility of suspension or even termination from her role on The View. The legal proceedings had reached a boiling point, and now the ramifications of Whoopi's actions were coming to light in a very public way. As news of Whoopi's collapse spread, so did the chaos surrounding The View. Fans and critics alike were quick to react. Hashtags like Fire Whoopi and Cancel The View began trending worldwide, with thousands of people demanding that ABC take decisive action. Even long-time...
All this sort of federal money going to media companies is what helps explain why...
Allowed all kinds of people to come on, people we agree with, people we don't agree with. I've not been a fan of this.
Somebody's gonna try to blackmail me with advertising? Blackmail me with money? Go f yourself.
This man's. I don't like how he talks to us. I don't like how he talks to the nation.
Time supporters of the show admitted that this time, Whoopi had gone too far. The once unthinkable idea that Goldberg's tenure on The View might come to an end now seemed all too plausible. Behind closed doors, ABC executives were reportedly in crisis mode, holding urgent meetings to discuss how best to address the situation. Could the show survive this scandal? Would Whoopi Goldberg's career be permanently damaged by the fallout from the lawsuit? And if she were to go, what would happen to The View? The show had always been synonymous with Whoopi, and without her, could it continue to thrive? The legal battle was far from over. As the days wore on, it became clear that Elon Musk was not going to back down. He had made his position clear. This wasn't just about a joke gone wrong. This was about accountability. Musk had made it known that he was prepared to push for more severe consequences if necessary, and it seemed as if the legal proceedings were only the beginning of a much larger conflict. For Whoopi Goldberg, the situation had gone from bad to worse. Once a beloved and respected figure in the entertainment industry, she now found herself at the center of a scandal that had the potential to unravel everything she had worked for. And as the world waited for the final verdict, it was clear that this was no longer just a celebrity feud. This was a pivotal moment in the world of media accountability, one that could forever change the landscape of daytime television. Would Whoopi Goldberg be able to weather the storm? Or would this legal battle mark the end of her career on The View? Only time would tell. But one thing was certain. The drama surrounding this case was far from over, and the world was watching closely to see how it all played out. As the case continued, the question on everyone's mind remained: who would come out on top in this explosive clash between Hollywood royalty and Silicon Valley power? And in the end, would the world of media and television ever be the same again?